Before starting the session, let's just wait for 5 more minutes. Ask all your friends to join the session ASAP. I want to request our speakers to open their camera if possible. Our first speaker for today is Tushankaa Di. She is currently pursuing chemical engineering and is currently interning at Schlumberger. Di.
Hi. Should I start right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share my screen. Is this visible?
Yeah, Di, it's visible.
Okay. Hi everyone. I am Tushanka and I'm pursuing chemical engineering and currently I'm interning at Schlumberger or SLB and I've just completed 2 weeks over here. So I'll just start with the recruitment process altogether. So firstly, you need to have a CGPA of 7 and above. And so as to get your resume shortlisted, I would encourage that you put all your projects, like whatever SOPs or DOPs, whatever you do in it, and explain a bit about what the project was. And also include your PORs, whatever volunteering work you did, all the extracurricular activities, everything, like just mention in short in the resume so that the probability of your resume getting shortlisted increases. All right. So we had 4 rounds for my recruitment process. First was the resume shortlisting. Second was the group discussion round. Third was group activity, and the fourth one was an interview. So I've already told about the resume shortlisting part, and next I'll go ahead with the group discussion. For group discussion at SLB, like the topics can be very absurd, and like you won't even expect this topic like so kabhi bhi. For the placement people, they got the topic as zero, just the word zero. So they had to speak on that. And for us, the topic was diversity. And so for GD, the important points to keep in mind are, first of all, like there are points if you start the GD, like if you give the opening line or the opening point, there are points given if you conclude the GD. All right. So for concluding the GD, I would suggest that before starting the before the group discussion starts, you get like around 1 minute so as to prepare for the GD. So I would suggest you write down all the points before the discussion begins. And so as to conclude, first of all, I would suggest that. You write down whatever points that you liked from each and every person, so that while concluding you can take up small points from here and here, so that you don't miss any point while you're concluding. And if you give a very nice conclusion, it adds a lot of points to your side. And yeah, like, and obviously regarding the topic, you cannot predict the topic of the GD round. All right, it completely depends upon the mood of the person from the company. All right, like he can give any topic, like kabhi kabhi aisa you can get topics on as a current affairs ka kuch topic, yeah, topics like global warming or renewable resources or something like that. Okay. And we got the topic as diversity. Some person got the topic as zero. They also gave the topic as balance sometimes. So there is literally no way you can predict the topic beforehand. So just go with an open mind. That's it, and be calm and composed. After the group discussion round, we had the group activity round. And for this, we were divided into groups of, I think, 6 to 8 people in each group. There were 2 groups. And we were asked to design no, a source energy generator. Okay. So what my team made was a figure of a windmill. Okay. And yeah, so I forgot to tell that we were given marshmallows and spaghetti sticks, and we had to design a windmill using that. And the other group, what they did was they made a solar panel. Yeah, so Darshana was in the other group, so their team made the solar panel, and we made a windmill. And after this, we were supposed to do a cross questioning to the other group, and the company people just observed us from outside. They did not actually contribute to it. So, uh, um, other than that, the next round that I had was the interview round. So for the interview round, my interview was mainly focused on my resume. Okay, so I included my extracurricular activities, my volunteering work, and like the work that I did for Abhigyan or something, and my POR as well. So and yeah, and the SOP work as well. So the one thing that I noticed was I ended my introduction with by mentioning my project. Like I did an SOP in a nanomaterial, so I ended using by that. Okay. So what the interviewer did was the initial part of the interview was mainly focused on my project. So uh, I would suggest that whatever thing you're comfortable with in your resume. Like, suppose if you're comfortable with talking about your POR, or if you're comfortable with talking about your volunteering work or something, so just keep that part in the end. so that when the interviewer starts asking questions, you don't fumble in between, or you don't go blank in between. Just that's it. And yeah, so I mean, before the personal interview begins, I would suggest that keep some points in mind, like as a, some uh, some unique selling points about you. Like, okay, okay, I did volunteering work, I did this project under this prof, and got to learn this, and whatever POR you did, mention the footfall of the event, or how many clubs that you did you collaborate with, something like that. So like something that kind of sets you apart. And yeah, other than that, uh, mention your skills, like leadership skills, team working ability, something like that. Also the very also some questions that are widely repeated in your interviews are like, why should we select you as an intern, and what will you contribute to the company, and how did your suppose you did a POR, so like how did your POR I mean, how will you use your POR experience to to be an asset for this company, some questions like that. So yeah, just these things. And also if you are willing to go for higher studies, and I would request that don't mention that while explaining why you should be a good suit for the company, because like if the company wants to hire you as an intern and you say ki theek hai, I want to go for masters or something, so like why would they take you like in the first place, right? Because anyways, if you're going for masters, you won't like consider the PPO or something, right? So I would request, just don't mention your higher studies first, and just sell it out to them ki why only you should be selected as an intern, and why the others I mean, why are you better than your competitors, basically? And basically be confident, and don't fumble in between, and be thorough with your resume. That is it. I mean, so the uh, basically the interviewer can take any point out from your resume and can say bombard you with questions, and if you become blank in front of them, that gives a very bad impression. I would just suggest that you have a healthy flow of points going, and don't mention anything that you did not do in your resume. Suppose like don't mention ऐसा don't mention programming वगैरह अगर तुमने नहीं किया है, and just because it is in right now and तुम्हें अभी mention करने का बहुत मन होगा, I would suggest don't do that, because अगर your interviewer is from that background, and if he cross questions you on that topic, and if you go blank, that would give a very bad impression, and there are chances that you might not be selected. So keep that in mind. And in some cases, in some companies, they ask core questions as well. SLP may they did not ask us core questions. I mean, they asked us like if you know about the company or what this company does or something, but there were as such no core questions regarding whatever we have studied. So, but in some companies like I guess JSW or Exxon, they asked. So yeah, just be thorough with your concepts as well. So yeah, that was my recruitment process. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. All right. Uh, I don't think. Yeah, Sanika.
So, Hi, Tushanka. So I wanted to ask you. So out of the 4 rounds, how many people get like filtered out after every round?
After every round, like till the last round, till the interview round, we had around I think 16, yeah, 15 people. Like I told you about the group activity round, like there were 15 to 16 people. So after that, for the interview process, only I guess 8 or 9 people were shortlisted, and for the final offer, only 4 people remained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
One more thing in the group
yeah.
activity. I mean, it seemed very absurd, but what is the point? Like, what are they looking at in the group activity?
Yeah, so for the group activity, basically, they just observe you from a distance, okay? So when the group activity was happening, the company people were as a side में they were walking, okay? So they were noticing ki who is contributing how much, and like there should not be a person who is sitting idle or who is not like helping to build the thing. So basically, from the group activity, they just want to know ki how how spontaneous you are with making your decisions and how spontaneous you are with coming up with ideas and stuff. ठीक है, तो ऐसा 15 minutes चले गए, and if you did not make anything, like तुम्हारा ग्रुप सोच ही नहीं पाया कि ठीक है we can make this thing, or if you're or अगर if you make some model which does not even work during the showcasing of the model, so like yeah, तो ये सब भी नहीं, just try to come up with something that is functional. So हमारा windmill का जो the blades we modeled it in such a way कि it was moving, ठीक है. So I guess that's what the people liked. So yeah, just go with an open mind. Don't say just डरना नहीं है बस during any of the rounds. That is it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes, Pranjal.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I was asking about the resume. You asked us to mention the points that we're incredibly confident about, ऊपर और नीचे. You asked us to mention last में.
No, not last में as it when you're giving the introduction, right? So सबसे पहले they ask you to give an introduction about yourself, ठीक है? So if you start with ठीक है, I'm Tushanka and I have this as my POR, I have this as my monitoring work, and if at the end you say कि okay, also I did this project, तो interview के दिमाग में like that thing stays, right? कि they won't remember the thing you said in the beginning. They mostly tend to remember the thing you said in the end. So I would encourage it कि जो last में and that is it कि जो last में whatever you're most comfortable with, वो last में रखो.
So
So
for the
that
introduction
is
only.
better. Yeah, for the introduction. Yeah.
Okay.
Engineering and interning at Exxon Mobil as a cost and schedule intern.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, actually, I can't turn on my camera because I have like weird bandwidth right now. So it will just lag if I open my camera.
Okay, Dee.
So I'll just present my slide. Yeah, are my slides visible?
Yes, Dee.
Yeah, okay. So hello everyone. I am Saumya and I'm currently pursuing my chemical engineering. So yeah, I'm currently working at Exxon Mobil in Bangalore, and I'm currently a cost and schedule intern over there. And it's like still my second week over there. So yeah. Okay, so let me first discuss the timeline when this Exxon Mobil generally comes to campus. So it will be around first or second week of August. For me, it was on the 1st of August that they took our online test, and on the second yeah, on 11th of August they conducted my GD and interview on the same day. So yeah, like they take the GD and the interview on the same day, so you will have to like be prepared for both of them for the same day only. And the branches that were eligible for Exxon Mobil were chemical and mechanical. And the CGPA cutoff was 7, but generally they took all the people who had an 8 plus CGPA. So yeah, try to have a good CGPA. So let me take you through the stages. So there were total 3 stages during my recruitment process. So the first one was online test. So for me, it was online test, but for my seniors, like 2019 batch, it was resume shortlisting. So like I guess they will be deciding. I don't know what they will take this time, but for me, it was online test. So there were 3 sections in that. So the three sections were logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, and English. Yeah, so there were no technical questions asked in the online test. So I'm telling you, it's very easy. Like the online test only, like the key differentiating factor in the online test will be the number of questions that you make correct in the time, because the time will be very less. So like I got 65 questions in 60 minutes. So you need to have a very good grip, like 1 minute per question. That's it. You can't give more than that. And one tip that I want to share over here will be attempt all the questions in English section, because they were like the most easiest one, like literally the 10th grade questions they asked in the English wala part. So yeah, like attempt all the questions in that. And even the logical reasoning and quantitative aptitude was like decent, not very hard or something. If you have done like some tests in your 11th or 12th, you might be familiar with all of those questions, like mirror image and all. Very basic questions were asked in that. After that, the second round was GD. So around 13 students were selected from like for GD from Goa campus. So like on the 11th of August, they conducted our GD in the like morning, like 11 or something. So there were three GD panels that were made, and 10 students were there in every panel. And the GD was like with all the three campuses. So not only Goa campus was involved in that, all the three campuses will be there in the GD and interview as well. So, like I got the topic that was inflation, whether it is good or bad for a country. So, in my opinion, you should have a like general awareness about the things that are happening around the world, because at that time the Sri Lankan example was very like on point. That's why I like went for the Sri Lankan example for the inflation wala thing. So yes, and I would say that going first will always give you a brownie point. And don't do like if someone is speaking, don't go ahead of them and just speak. You need to have the difference between GD and debate. It's not a debate, it's a GD. So be careful about that. And do not try to speak when you don't have any like a valid point or something which will structure the GD to a good point or something. Like I have seen people just speaking for like just the sake of speaking. So don't do that. Write down some points. They will give you like 30 seconds or something in the beginning to note down the points that you have. So yes, use that 30 seconds very preciously. And after that, the GD will go on for like 15 minutes, and everyone will be given chance to conclude the GD. Okay, so do not only tell the points that you told in the GD. Try to cover all the points that everyone spoke in the GD and you like that point. So side by side, just keep writing all the points that you feel were like good or something, which you can include in your conclusion. So after that, the other topics that were given to other panel was the effect of OTT on cinema industry. Like it's very common topic. You can speak many things on that. And apart from that, one other topic was, is AI taking away jobs? So one thing that Tushanka also mentioned, that you can't predict GD's topic. So just go with open mind and you will do it. Just don't be totally silent during the GD. If you're even not getting any point at that time, try to like get some points while others are speaking. You might get some good points from the others like point or something. And also don't deviate from the topic. I have seen people deviating away from the topic, that won't give a good impression as an overall group. Okay, so don't do that. After that, my third round was basically HR plus technical interview. So both were like held in the same interview only. So my interview was scheduled just 30 minutes after my GD ended. So they released the result after 15 minutes, and I was scheduled to give my interview in next 30 minutes. So you won't be getting any much time to prepare in that the time given by them. So yeah, be careful about that. And approximately my interview went for 40 minutes, in which 30 minutes were basically the technical questions and the 10 minutes were for HR. So yeah, the very important point for interviews are, be very thorough with your resume, because they're gonna cover everything that you have on your resume. Like I know you have PS1 going on, you will take it light and everything, but believe me, they asked me most of the question on my PS1 only. So like they tried to kind of relate my PS1 with all my core subjects, so that they will know that if I have any idea about like relating that with my core subject or something. So yeah. After that, important core subject are heat transfer, separation process one, thermodynamics, and fluid mechanics. Like these, I'm telling for chemical. I'm not sure about mechanical, but yeah, for chemical, these four are the main important subject. Also, like if they ask you, I don't know if they asked or not, but they did not ask me. But I have heard that they might ask you what is your favorite subject. So prefer telling any of your favorite subject from these four only. Like do not tell them like material science or anything, because they are not any subject to focus upon. So yeah, like do not tell that subjects. After that, while mentioning any of your projects, SOP or anything, be very confident about that, because they will ask you questions on that. Like they will do the same. They will try to relate your subject with your SOP. So like I did SOP on gel permeation technology. So they asked me like how can I relate that with thermodynamics. So you need to have a good idea about the laws of the thermodynamics. How do you relate everything with that? So they will ask you technical questions. Like I was asked good amount of technical questions in my interview. So yeah, apart from that, POR. So yeah, POR are definitely important, and most of the HR questions, like for me at least, it was most of them were related to my POR, and some of the common questions like what was my happiest day on campus, like all random questions. So at that time, do not panic or something, because trust me, interviews are the most easiest round, and the interviewer also was very kind and friendly. They won't be like intimidating you or something. They will be very friendly towards you. So do not panic at all. Be like very calm and chill in the interview. Apart from that, at the end they will ask you like, do you have any questions for us? So do not stay silent during that time. I would suggest you to do a good research about the company, about the products they are selling, how are they making profit, where's the like the overall structure working of the company, so that you can ask something. Like I asked Exxon about their no carbon solutions thing that they are trying to achieve till 2030. So I asked them like how are they going to implement that, is it feasible or not? So yeah, ask them. Do not tell that I don't have any questions or something, because that definitely scores some brownie point for you guys. Apart from that, do not mention anything in your resume which you are not confident about. And yeah, if you have done any Coursera or Udemy courses and you are like confident and that kind of relates to the core subjects, please do write that, because they do add value to your resume and make it impressive. And like do not make your resume more than one page, because that's not a good impression. You should always have a resume of just one page, like just the front page, so that they can go through every points of your resume. And also if you're not doing anything in your PS1, still like know some things about the company. Like I had my PS1 in Grasim Birla Polyfiber, so they asked me about the overall working of Grasim. So do know all that things before sitting for the interview, because it's important. They they do not know that we take PS1 light. So we need to have a technical knowledge about the company and some knowledge about what projects that you do in your PS1. Apart from that, materials that you can go through is majorly class notes and textbooks are more than enough. Basically, the slides given by the profs are also very good. Like for heat transfer and separation process one, slides are more than enough. And like in like I heat transfer was something which I was very confident about, so I tried to take the discussion of the overall interview towards heat transfer only, so that they can ask me questions on that, because that was the subject I was very confident. So yeah, like try to do something so that they can structure your interview towards a subject that you like. Apart from that, PU will also provide you some material which will have the important points that you should need to go before the interview. So do that. And yes, like if you have any doubts or queries, you can always contact me. Yeah, so anyone has any doubts?
Uh, Hi, Samyadi, Sakina here.
Yeah, yeah, hi.
So, what I wanted to ask you is, how is your internship going? It's been 2 weeks, I guess. How are you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at
Yeah,
Exxon?
yeah, it's actually very nice because the like Exxon have that beautiful thing of work time balance. So like we can leave at any time we want. We can come to work anytime we want. So it's very flexible over here. So yeah, it's not like we have to stick with the time of 9 to 6 or something. Like I can go to office even at 11 and do my all the work and come back by 3 or 4. Like no one gives any fuck if you don't come at time or anything. So yeah, it is something. They have a very great work culture. So yeah, I do like the work culture over there.
Also, what does your role as a cost and schedule intern look like? Like, what does your day-to-day work look like?
Actually, you will be having one subject in your 3-2 that will be basically PDP2. So in that you will be taught about the overall like cost and costing of a plant. So like from the basics of the plant, like we were in that course taught about the heat exchangers costing and the pumps costing. So in Exxon as a whole, I'm working upon a project. So I will be given one concept model whose purchase I need to like calculate the cost, like whether that project is feasible or not, whether we have that much fund or not. So I basically need to calculate the overall cost and also the schedule, because also the schedule matters for any of the project, right? You can't take years to make any project. So yes, so I need to first calculate the cost and then schedule accordingly that cost with the project so that they go simultaneously hand in hand. Yeah, and in Exxon you will be like, you won't be dealing with India mostly, you will be dealing with outside of India. So like currently I am dealing with Singapore, Australia and PNG. So I need to have regular meets with people over there, explain my costing that I have done. So there are many tools over there that we use. So yeah, like it's kind of something which is related to my code. It's not something like I have not done yet and it's totally new for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
welcome. Anyone else? Yeah, okay then. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dee. I request all of you to just fill up the feedback form, like so that we can know what things we need to work on. Our next speaker for today is Darshna Dee. She is currently pursuing mechanical engineering and is currently interning at Schlumberger. Dee.
Hello. I hope this presentation is visible.
Yeah, Dee, it's visible.
Hello. Yeah. Good. Hi everyone. So I'm Darshna, B Mechanical third year done, and currently I'm interning at SLB. So I won't talk a lot about the recruitment process because Tushanka has already talked about it. But apart from that, we can talk a bit about SIP in mechanical in general. So, unlike circuital branches or CS, we don't have diversity hiring. I haven't seen that as of now. If it is there in for your case, then it's good. And apart from that, some general tips regarding SIP for mechanical according to my experience as of now is that as the Shanka and Soumya has already covered, you should be very thorough with your resume. Like just don't at this time, I guess a lot of you might be submitting your resumes on Superset very soon. I think somewhere around July, August, something. So don't put a lot of fancy words there that you just heard somewhere or use somewhere in your project, but you don't understand what they actually mean. So that is a very big mistake, and a lot of people do that. But your so one thing you should understand is that your resume need not be very fancy. It just should be enough to convey that okay, this is the work you have done. And as far as interviews are concerned, in case of a technical interview, a lot of times, so as Tushanka already mentioned that your interview will be more about so you can always guide your interview actually. So in the very beginning, when your the interviewers, they generally ask you to introduce yourself. So when you introduce yourself, it just does not mean that okay, I am XYZ and I live at this place and this is my brand. You also talk a bit about the work you have done as of now or your interests. So whenever you are talking about all that stuff, try to mention something you are strong at or some unique selling point of yours, maybe some project of yours, maybe some POR of yours. I'm sorry, maybe some POR of yours, or maybe some course that you like, maybe some project that you have done. So basically anything that, if I ask you to talk about, you can talk about it confidently. And a few subjects that I can mention include fluid mechanics, applied thermodynamics, heat transfer, mechanisms and machine, and MOS. So these are a few subjects. I won't say restrict yourself to these, but these, especially when it comes to fluid mechanics and applied thermo heat transfer, these are the subjects that are a lot used in the industries. And rest you can see what the company is and the kind of projects they bring for you, so you can see what can be related to your pur. But like, be thorough with these ones at least. Like, these are very basic subjects and are more like the soul of mechanical engineering. So yeah, like, and they won't ask you like very complicated stuff. Like, they might not expect you to remember some correlation that you studied in heat transfer, or some maybe they won't ask you to write the Navier-Stokes equation or apply boundary conditions or something like that. They would ask you very basic stuff. Like, if I'll give you an example, I had a project related to bluff bodies, like, it is a study of bluff bodies in laminar flow. So they asked, so not in SLB. So as the Shanka already mentioned, that SLB interview was not a technical one, but one more interview I gave. So they asked me, the first thing that they asked me is what a bluff body is. Then since I said that okay, my favorite subject is fluid mechanics, so they talked about okay, how flow separation takes place, explain that, and how vortices are formed, just stuff like that. So it's just that whatever you are talking about, you should be confident about it. And you know uh, back yourself up with stuff. Even if you fumble at places, you can ask for hints, you can ask for time. It's fine. So yeah, apart from that, if you have any PORs, if you have any projects inside, like in the university, outside the university, some other place, it's like it all just adds brownie points to your profile. So especially when it comes to PORs, so uh, it will be hardly it will be hardly the case that you won't have a HR round. As like, there will be some component of HR round, if not just if not a separate HR round. So, and this is where if you're having any PORs, or if you have done some volunteering, something like that, so that is where you can talk about it, and it always adds something to your profile. So that is what you should having some POR, even a small one, or having some external project is always a good thing. Then apart from that, you should also look for off campus opportunities. So I think like, you are aware regarding the scenario of core placements and core SIPs. If you will see, if you'll just compare the number of SIP opportunities or placement opportunities we have as compared to people from circuital branches or CS, or opportunities in finance or consulting product, the opportunities for us are very less in number. So I would say, always try to search for as many options as possible, and then you can go for the best one. So I'm sorry. I'm having a bit of cough and cold. So yeah, even you can look for some opportunities right now in your second year. There are a lot of openings which offer remote working facilities, or if there is something near your wherever you are living, if there's something around, then you can also go work there. So you can add all that experience to your profile while applying for summer internships as well. So yeah, that is it from my side. You can ask any questions if you have. Yeah, Medha, go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh, can you mention some off-campus companies if you saw any of them? Like, if you heard of
Some
any?
off-campus companies. Okay, I see there are a lot of startups nowadays which are offering roles like roles related to 3D modeling. So if you have worked with SolidWorks before, then I think SolidWorks or maybe Fusion. And if not, I would say especially people from mechanical branches do learn SolidWorks and Fusion 360 or any 3D modeling software, because these are being extensively used in the industry, and you can directly join as a professional as well. Yeah, so even I interned at a startup during my second year. So it was a space ed tech startup, and there also I had a similar role like this 3D modeling and design. So apart from that, there are some startups that are offering opportunities related to kind of CFD roles or finite element analysis roles. I think you might have heard of Tinkerbell Labs.
Yeah.
It's a BITS Goa startup only, yeah. So I think someone graduating in 25 batch only. I have a friend, he's interning there. So and I think I'm not sure if he has got the internship or he was applying for it, but the role was something like this only, for 3D modeling.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think you can, I hope you have a LinkedIn account, and I like if not, it's a general advice for everyone. Please make a LinkedIn account, and at least put some stuff there, some experience, good profile picture of yours. So there are a lot of opportunities that you can get through LinkedIn. Just turn the job alerts on there. So I think that will be useful for you.
Also, there are some like institutes that offer research internships, so you can also look for that. Like I have a friend who is interning at IISc Bangalore as a research intern, so you can always look for that colleges that are providing some research internships.
Okay.
Yeah.
The PORs are really important. Like if my POR is not related to IT or something, will it be okay?
Yeah. See, the whole point of having a POR, because it will be rarely a case that your POR will be related to the role you are having. So it's more like POR gives you an opportunity to deal with the managerial stuff at times, because whenever you are going to work, it will not be the case that you will only face the technical issues. So you're going to face a lot of other issues. So it's more like how you can deal with people, how you can deal with other situations, and your pure sometimes maybe I'll give you an example of my interview. So they asked me that, okay, is like tell about some tough situation that you faced in your life. So I talked about. So it was not at all related to the industry I was about to apply, and the role I was about to apply for. So it was. So I've been to Istanbul last year for Kratos. for the competition. So there I had to, like, there was some issue there, and which was related a bit to my POR. So I just talked about that. So your POR is more, it's more like, okay, you have got something else to talk about, not just your CDCs. There is something else about your personality that, that enables you to work in teams, or handle situations with pressure. It's more like that.
Okay, they got it.
Yeah.
Darshna,
Yeah.
could you please talk a little bit about the work you're doing right now as a field engineer? How is that going?
Okay. So yeah, sorry. As far as the work is concerned right now, how it's just been 2 weeks here, and 1 week I was in Mumbai. So since this internship that me and Tushanka are doing, it's like very different from the kind of internships that we generally get from college. It's the internships that we generally see doing people around our office based internships, but ours is more of a field job, workshop job. So 1 week was just safety training. It was they taught us a lot about the hazards that we might encounter in the industry, and what are the safety practices that we have to keep into account. Then after that, we were allotted segments, and right now I am in Andhra Pradesh. There is a small place called Kakinada here, but it's not a problem. You can see behind, I'm in a good, like, they were given me a good place to live here. And apart from that, right now my segment is a segment called completions. And since this is a service provider industry, so what happens is, when like, you are supposed to dig wells to extract oil. So when those wells are dug, after that there are some equipments that need to be installed inside the well. And my segment takes care of installation of those equipments, maintenance, and inspection of those equipments, and taking care of the whole process of getting the oil out. So right now my role so what is going on right now is that I have to, in the first week here, with this segment, I have to just understand what exactly the segment does, and get familiarized with the environment here. So whenever I am entering the workshop, there is a so there are all the equipments are there, so I have to wear a PPE, which is not the PPE similar to what we saw during the Corona thing, but it's more like an orange or a blue coverall, and there is a headgear. There are safety glasses. So all those things are there because safety is highly taken care of in oil and gas industry. So have to take care of all those things whenever I'm lifting something, or there is a particular method that you are not supposed to bend your back completely while lifting stuff, and there are a lot of other things that you have to take care of. So right now it's just 1 week, and I understood how my segment works, how people from my segment work, and I'll be getting a project most probably tomorrow, and then the next few weeks here I have to work on that project. Apart from that, the environment in office is pretty chill, though. Like, they are very particular about you being punctual, but they are equally calm and chill as well. Like, if you are not well, or if there's something wrong, you can leave anytime. But the timings are in general, like, at least the reporting timings are in general followed strictly here. Yeah, you can ask any other questions if you have. And I think you guys can scan this for the feedback as well, for the session. Okay, I don't think anyone has any doubts. Sorry. And I'll just hand over the session to BGWIT again. Thank you.
No one has any doubts, so just let's wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Dee.